Now before we create the views in our InfraWorks model, let's first take a quick look at that CSV file. And you can see it has the room number and the room name. This is going to be used for the bookmarks that are generated inside of InfraWorks, so we know which room we're standing in looking out at the project site. We have the X and the Y coordinate as well as that Z elevation. And that's 6 feet above whatever that level elevation is inside of the Revit model. Now over here in InfraWorks, I want to open up that script console, and I can do that from the utilities pull down, or I can hold the control key and press the number 2 key, and that will bring up the scripting console. From here, we need to load our JavaScript file, and we can browse out to wherever you happen to save that file, select it, click open, and that loads up inside of the scripting editor. Now before we run this code, let's take a quick look at the code itself and see what's happening here behind the scenes. Now first and foremost, it's loading up that user interface. This is going to allow us to select our CSV file as well as identify a target location. So when we're looking from the model, from the room within that model, we're looking down to that target location. That's where this acquire coordinates comes into play. There's the code that reads that CSV file, and from there, once that CSV file is loaded and the target is acquired, the code will then parse the CSV file, extracting the X, Y, and the Z elevation, and then creating those bookmarks and saving them with the room number and the room name as the name of that bookmark. So let's take a look at this in action. When we click the Start Script button, that's going to fire up the dialog box, and we can see it shows us what the model name is, what the current proposal is, and we then have the option to choose our CSV file. So I'm going to click the button and browse out to my CSV file that I just generated from the Revit model using Dynamo. So the next thing I need to do is acquire the coordinates from the current position, and this is wherever I happen to be looking currently within the InfraWorks model. So what I want to do is grab a view down this roadway here, for example, and when I click the acquire coordinates from current position button, you can see it then sets the coordinates here, the X, Y, and the Z value, and I can modify this. I can tweak it if I want to get a little bit lower. Click that button again, and if I'm happy with the location, I can just hit the create bookmark views, and it's going to again read that CSV file, extract the coordinates from it, and generate the bookmarks within InfraWorks. So it's just created my views and my bookmarks, and let's take a quick look at what we have here. Over here in the view bookmark section, we can see those rooms as well as their associated views. And if I click on it, it brings me right to that view. Now remember what I said before about making sure that that room reference point is in a location where it's not being obstructed by a wall or a column, for example. So I may want to go back and adjust some of these so I have something that's a little bit better looking out of that room. Likewise with some of these views on the rooftop here, you notice that wall is obstructing the view. So I may want to elevate that particular view just a little bit, whether you do that through Dynamo in an automated fashion or just manually tweak the rooms that you need within that CSV file to get that desired height from the view.